Hi everyone, it's Paola. Welcome back to my graphic design and art channel. I'm so happy you're here, but if you did miss the last video, you should definitely go check that out before watching this one, because in that one, we developed and created the brand for a wine company. So now that the branding's done, this part will be making the brand guidelines. So this is what we would give to a client at the end of a project. It's the strategies, it's the presentation, it's the guides, and I am really excited about it. So subscribe, ring the bell so you get notified when I upload, and also check out my Instagram because that's where I post the projects. So let's get into putting this brand together in a final presentation. But first, we actually have a sponsor for this video. So happy. I'm so happy to share that this video is sponsored by Kittl. Now, if you don't know what Kittl is, it is an online-based tool that is so easy, so intuitive, and just the best. And it is specifically for designing. So whether you're a professional graphic designer or you are really starting out in graphic design, there are so many things that you can do in such an easy way that it makes it great for everybody. If you're a designer that struggles to find inspiration, Kittl is a great place to go to find all of the templates that you can imagine and start creating from there. And you can actually use Kittl to create what we're making in this video itself, because you can use a template to make a brand guide the same way I'm doing. For example, here I am finding templates on brand guidelines, looking at logos, colors, styles, and you can use that and put in your own work. I also love that the templates are professional grade and you can just use them for so much. There are so many templates, so many fonts. And I love that I can use Kittl to customize fonts and make it just really cool in a really easy way. There are so many powerful tools in Kittl, like color change is one of my favorites, where you can change the color of an entire design just with one click. I love that I can use the design tools in here to make things as quick and easy as possible. So if you're looking for a website to use that helps your designs come together seamlessly, Kittl is the one for you. Now, Kittl is actually free to sign up and use, but you can use my code PaolaTT to get 25% off a pro plan for the first month. Now that is for new users only, so definitely check that link out in the description, and I am so happy about this sponsorship, so thank you Kittl for sponsoring. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so let's get into the project now. This is the final brand presentation that we're putting together on Adobe InDesign. The dimensions we're going to work with is 1920 by 1080. That is a full HD presentation, and I love that look, and I just think it looks so professional, especially if you are actually presenting it to a client in a meeting. The document will not be facing pages either, and you can add any type of margins that you want. The first thing I want to touch on before we get into the designing and laying out are master pages. So on a master page, you can put whatever you want. I like to put some guides sometimes for how I want to lay things out, or I like to put page numbers, which then I can unlock later. So basically on a master page, it'll be on every other page that you create in the file, but it will also be locked. So you'll have to unlock it every time. There is a keyboard shortcut for that, which is pretty easy. Or it's just under object, but basically it makes it very easy to have things laid out exactly on the same place of every page, and you don't have to go in individually and do anything. Okay, so let's get into layout now that we know the little basics of just laying out this entire document. So the cover page, you can make it as fun as you want. I mean, it's really just showcasing the brand. This is Good Times, the wine company, and I'm just excited about the whole look of the project. So you can just really go wild with your styles and anything you want to do. You can also have a very strict set of rules and templates that you follow for every brand that you work with, or you can just kind of go out and do your own thing and create how you want for depending on the project and the vibe of it. The next page that I feel is crucial to a document like this is a table of contents. I think it is important, even in presentation mode or how they're going to keep this file for themselves. It is important for the client to know where everything is and just have that reference point so they don't have to be like scrolling through it. The next page after that, I like to put in the brand strategy or the brand story or just the messaging of the brand, whatever is the specific info that the brand wants to cover or what you've covered together, working together. It really depends on who you are as a designer. I know some people don't really focus on brand strategy with their clients, they just focus on the design aspect, but I'm sure that they have a mission statement or something that you can put in here, and it just shows how your branding is aligning with that mission statement. I think it's still an important page, even if you didn't develop outwardly the brand strategy for them, you still are part of that as a designer for the brand. Okay, sorry, the sun is beaming on me, but we're gonna keep it moving. Your next choices will be showcasing all of the brand imagery, logo, text, color, all of that. So I like to do it in this particular order. I like to start with the logo because it is the primary design aspect of what you've created. So I start with the logo, and then I also show the use cases of other logo variations. So you can lay this out in like different ways, and you can have kind of a blurb of each section to explain where this logo will be used and why. So for example, for Good Times is the name of the brand, but the use of the G by itself is in use on the wine bottles. So that's a good way to explain where these variations will come in and when they should be used. So you can also tell the client, and they're checking back in to make sure they're keeping in with the brand strategy and what they need to do, so that they're not using the logos in all different ways that aren't really supposed to be how they were created. This is really to keep consistency over the brand, this whole guide, and just showcase exactly how to use everything so that the client isn't unaware and they don't need to come back to you for any reason, because they have everything they could possibly need. Next is typography. So typography will be more of the headings, subheadings, body text, whatever that they need to use. So if they have like a website, where they're using that, where are they using body text later, where are they using it on wine bottles? You know, there's so many questions with that. So this is where you're strategizing for them exactly how to use it and laying it out for them, telling them in what uses they need to do. Specific fonts, specific choices. Also with the typography, you are packaging that up to send to the client, so they will have access to all the fonts. Now getting to imagery, you can collect photos for them. I mean, brands, a lot of established brands already will have photos, but I think it's good to include it and just kind of the use. You can show how type and imagery will interact, or how logo and imagery will interact, or anything like that. I here just have a collection of photos that I created for the brand that I found. So for that, this is more like, okay, yeah, I'm developing that whole part of it for the client, but I'm assuming with other brands, they will find imagery, but you can also showcase things like mood boards, consistency in terms of vision for the imagery. This can be that section as well. But like I said, you can do imagery as it interacts with type, or you can do the imagery for socials. That can also be an aspect of your brand guidelines. It really depends on what you've worked on with the brand itself. But like I've said, this whole brand guideline is really a lot of information for the brand so that they can keep it, they can use it and stick to it, because it's kind of a set of rules. The next will be the color palette. And on the color palette, you can bring in, if you had another file, a working file, and you've chosen colors, you can create a swatch palette and actually export it. So I can show you that here. But basically what you're doing is creating swatches, a swatch palette. You can name it for the brand specifically that you're working with, export that as a color swatch file, and then import that into any other file. I've brought that in here to this file, and then I have all of the RGB codes, and I am going to write out all of the RGB codes in the color palette here so that they also have access to just knowing exactly what their colors are down pat. So like I said, that's now the brand's responsibility to stick to that, and I think that's made pretty clear within the brand guide. But like I said, as the last thing, you can use social as kind of a framework at the end of your brand guidelines, like how things are going to actually look. If you're creating social media posts for them, you can add in that whole aspect. So I really like that as well. In imagery, you can definitely focus on like mood boards or just imagery or vision for the brand. And like I said before, you can change these types of guides depending on the project and just make it so creative and fun every time, or you can really stick to a template for yourself. So whether you go and find a template online or you actually make the template yourself as the designer and you stick to your style, that's really up to you. And I think it's great either way. Now, this may feel like a lot, but it is an important part of brand identity, design, brand strategy. And if you are designing for a brand or a company or an individual, you definitely need to focus on this as an aspect of your whole overall design journey with them. I am really happy with how this turned out. I think it looks so great, and it's just showcasing how I want to move forward with my clients specifically. So I hope that this inspired you a bit or gave you an idea of how to work with clients, and especially how to present to them at the final stages of a brand. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's definitely motivating me to step up my game and step up my design work, and I really want to work with clients in a much better strategic capacity. I hope this helped you. If it did, please give this video a like if you liked it, and let me know in the comments below what other types of videos you want to see about branding or design or art in general. Let's chat, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye!